Spurs Related podcast. I hope everyone is doing very well on this Saturday evening. And as always, of course, alongside me, I have got co-host Andre from Spurs Related. Andre, how you doing today, mate?
Doing well. I'm a little nervous, I can't lie. If you haven't noticed the pattern that Tottenham has had for the past few months, we're due for a loss.
Yeah, don't say that. Don't say that. But of course, you're very inclined to think that with the win-loss nature that is going on right now. And yeah, I mean, it is very, very up in the air results. And the West Ham win based on Spurs form. But listen, that form has got to be. We're not going to be win-loss FC for the rest of our season. Well, I mean, we might be, but certainly not for the rest of our history. So we got to crack on. We got to try and get this win. A very important win as well. Very important win. It would be obviously Arsenal winning again today. These guys, they're relentless, Arsenal. They really have turned it around this season. They really have got it going. They really have got their bows and strings. And listen, we have to. It's almost a must win. I'm saying it's a must win.
I think every game's a must win, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but in terms of like, if there is that slim chance of top four still, we have to win. We can't accept a draw tomorrow. That's not good enough. We have to win. And obviously, we'll get into things, but the main benefit of tomorrow is, of course, West Ham playing 120 minutes on Thursday night in the Europa League, which, playing an extra 30 minutes only 3 days ago, it could be really, really huge in terms of the pressing, the energy of their main players, and obviously the performance of West Ham, and we need to take key advantage of that. I would say we were at 50% for most of the second half against Brighton as well. So I'd say they've almost played double the amount of football intensity as us, and I think it's going to be huge, and it could be the difference.
Well, they could be coming in also with real like hype behind them. If you really paid attention to that game, the last goal in the extra time there from Yarmolenko, especially with all the stuff going on in the world, it was a very important goal for that team. Very important goal for him. The scenes, I'm pretty sure he teared up a little bit. It was really emotional to see all that, and they're going to bring all of that energy to Tottenham.
Yeah, exactly. You're very right. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Obviously, very emotional. But listen, Andre, let's welcome in a couple of the Spurs related boys. I can see, as always, Ian Army in the chat saying, "COYS. Ian Army, I hope you're doing well, mate. I hope you're having a nice weekend so far, and hopefully Spurs won't ruin it for all of us. But listen, I'm sure you'll be there for the match review, reviewing it with us. As always, mate, and I hope you're doing well. Catman Jess, big yourself up, saying big up James and Dre. I like Dre. Do you ever get called Dre?
A few times. There's another Andre that's a friend of mine. He gets called Dre, and I'm just Andre, but I'm okay with Dre. I like it.
Dre, maybe that's your new thing. Maybe James and Dre. It's got a little ring to it, actually.
Yeah,
I like that. He said, Catman just says, I'm ready to watch our Spurs smash the Hammers tomorrow. COYS. Yeah, I really do hope you're right, Catman Jess. Absolutely buzzing for the game, as well as yourself. I know he's saying us going against a team with plenty of aerial threats is a recipe for disaster. Listen, they have got aerial threats, and we don't defend corners very well, and we don't score many corners. But listen, West Ham, I think they're scraping results a lot of the time by one goal, as we'll see in the head-to-head records. But I just feel like maybe that is, I think you're right, Anami. I think that is one thing we have to watch out for. But they haven't got Bowen. They haven't got Jared Bowen. So that's huge, because he has been arguably their best player this season. So
well, when you think about it too, though, where's our weakness is aerial threats.
So they've still got Souček and Rice. Exactly, Souček, Rice, and the back line. They've even got that guy that likes hitting cats. So, Gagetta is saying, my guys, everywhere we go. Big up, Gagetta. Always good to see you, my friend. I hope you are doing very well indeed. I know, he's saying Dr. Dre.
Oh, man. What a name.
It's already got a ring to it. But listen, guys, keep your comments coming in. We do appreciate it. We do appreciate all the support and all the people that come in, like literally like every stream, the likes of Iron Army, Gagetta, and Catman Jess so far in the stream. We do really appreciate your support. Honestly, it does mean a lot to us, and it makes us want to keep going on this channel. We are pushing towards 1,000 subscribers. The goal was to get that by the end of the season. It's still possible, but of course, like the time we peaked was that January window when we were producing all those days of news, and everyone was really on board. But listen, we won't stop. We will grind it, and won't we, Andre, all the way till the end of the season. And
100%.
bit like Tottenham should be doing, grinding it for the top 4. We're grinding for the 1K. If we can get the 1K, that's our Champions League, and that's all we can kick on. I really do think that's like the main milestone up until further. But listen, should we get into the player reviews? Shall we get into the top 4? Top 3, but we got that bonus one as discussed off stream, Andre. I'm sure it will become very clear. Yeah, over to you, mate. I'll put this first guy up. Very recognisable, of course. Very much in the face of things in the Euros for England, and yeah, not an unrecognised face for sure. Declan Rice.
Yeah, that's my first pick. It would be very crazy to not pick him as one of the players to keep an eye on. The thing with West Ham, honestly, is their midfield's really strong. And he's one of the main reasons why. He's the captain. Whenever he plays the full 90 minutes. The guy at the moment from 37, he's played 37 matches. That's a lot.
Wow.
He's played got 4 goals, 4 assists. I think that's very, very good for the position he plays, defensive midfield. 91 pass completion, 70% tackle success. Those are some very, very good stats, especially that passing.
Yeah, I would agree, definitely.
What are your thoughts on Declan Rice at the moment, James?
Absolute baller. I can't even lie. I like the guy. That's the. I say it's annoying. Like, listen, there's obviously football rivalries, and there's a lot of players I don't like from Arsenal, Chelsea, and West Ham being our main rivals. But Declan Rice, being the Englishman he is, and obviously myself being an Englishman, and the efforts he does put in for our country, I don't not like Declan Rice. I do like him as a player. I do like him as a character. He even goes on those Twitter things and starts singing. Listen, I do like Declan Rice. If you were to ask me, like, who's your favourite player for West Ham, if you had to pick one, it is Declan Rice. I do like the guy. And yeah, he's their captain. He's their future captain, obviously, with Mark Noble, still playing a little part, but obviously he hasn't got the legs anymore. He's just a brilliant player. He's been linked with Chelsea. I hope he stays at West Ham and then goes to Chelsea, because then I will probably not like him. But listen, in terms of him being a player, I do like him. He's a versatile player. He can get forward, he can score a goal, and he's solid defensively and has a very good disciplinary record. He doesn't get many yellow cards for a midfielder that does get stuck in all the time, isn't afraid to put in a challenge, and isn't afraid to, win aerial battles as well. And he's been scoring quite a few, but he's scoring a couple of goals recently. And listen, the guy is on fire. The guy is, for me, an England starter, and we got to be careful, especially with our midfield obviously up in the air in terms of who starts. Højbjerg, Skip when he's free, when he's available. Obviously, Winks is in the battle, and obviously Højbjerg. You got to look and say, well, Declan Rice is a starter. There's no questions asked. Like, Declan Rice will probably get in the midfield of most teams other than maybe City and Liverpool. He is a very, very strong player, and we do have to watch out for him. And Bentancur has to be on his game tomorrow, and so does Højbjerg, and those two have been on form. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, Yanami agrees actually too. Strong performance needed, 100%. The West Ham game, I think, will be won or lost in the midfield. It can be
definitely
said about many clubs, but I do think that their midfield is very strong.
Very good midfield. It's probably their strongest. I'd say it's their strongest asset in their team. Like Souček and Rice are a brilliant duo. Probably one of the best in the Premier League, if I may say so. And he's spot on.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves there. We've got other teams with really good midfields, but I do think that West Ham's strongest suit is the midfield, and they will exploit the fact that Tottenham has been kind of leaky in that area. But as long as Bentancur and Højbjerg bring in their A game, we should be fine. Catman just here saying he deserves better than Chelsea. I think so too. James, what do you think? I think so.
Listen, like I said about the old rivalry thing, like, that's why I do like Declan Rice, trying to move the rivalries aside. Like, he is a likable character, but if he goes to Chelsea, I don't think he should go to Chelsea. I think it will probably ruin him as a player, but I prefer I think he's probably more fitted for Man United, to be honest with you. But anyway, listen, I think he loves West Ham, and I can see him there for a good couple of seasons still.
Yeah, if West Ham continues on with the project that they've built and they keep acquiring players that fit their system, just like I've been sort of advocating for us when it comes to Conte, I think that West Ham will continue to get better every season. Look how they were a few seasons ago. and now look where they are. So it really,
100%. West Ham. The thing is with West Ham, their fans get so annoyed because they're a bit like us. They're a couple of players away from now getting to the top four. And I've heard of Talksport. I listen to it a lot on the way home from work, and their fans get so annoyed that they haven't got backup for Antonio, who obviously is injury prone. But when
Mhm.
Antonio's fit, he is a good player. He is a good striker. But they don't have a second striker like us. They don't
Yeah,
have a second striker. They did have Haller, who then went to Ajax and is now banging them in for Ajax. But
yeah.
he didn't hit the ground running at West Ham. And they've had a couple of players over the years like Carlton Cole, and there's been a few strikers for them. But listen, they haven't had one at the moment. They don't have one at the moment, and that's where they're lacking up front, and that's why they're relying so much on the guy that's out in Jarrett Bowen, because he's providing a lot of goals from the wing. You've got Yarmolenko, he's contributing at the moment, but they need that second striker as well. And defensively, they've got all right fullbacks, but I think centre backs, they do lack one or two. And again, a little bit like us. So listen, West Ham have a good squad, but they don't have they don't have backups when they need it.
Yeah, yeah, I do think honestly, their West Ham really kicked into gear when Lingard went over.
Mm, yep.
He changed the whole atmosphere of West Ham. I think when the time comes at the end during the summer, I could see them going for Lingard, to be honest, and he would fit them very well. He already fit them very well last season.
Yeah.
He was really Lingard's entire career changed course when he went to West Ham, to be honest, because
Hmm.
he kind of just disappeared. So we definitely got to look out for these guys next season as well. But in terms of this season, yep, Declan Rice, he's our number one. Let's move on to the next guy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, kick things on, but that's Thomas Souček, who is on fire, who is the second man in their midfield, along with Declan Rice. And listen,
mhm.
quick one from me. This guy is a proper player. He's probably going to have interest like Declan Rice in the summer. And listen, he's just consistent. Like, he came in first season and he was good, and I thought, oh yeah, he's just had a one-off season. But no, this guy is proper quality, and I'm sure you'll read out the stats to prove that.
Yeah, yeah, and I also think that when he was at Red Star, I was already keeping an eye on this guy. So when
Yeah.
West Ham got him, I was pretty annoyed. He could have done well at Tottenham, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, at the moment, Thomas Tuchek has played 39 games, so already grinding out those games,
Hmm.
playing the 90 minutes. He's got 5 goals and 1 assist, so not as many as Declan Rice, but the fact that he's in there getting all the minutes, making sure that he takes control of those positions with Declan Rice says everything. In his last 5 games, he actually scored that Sevilla goal in the second leg in that 2-0 win.
Hmm.
He's got a 78 pass completion and a 65% tackle success. So although his tackling might not be as good, his pass completion's pretty decent. And again, the aerial threat is the main thing with him. I'm pretty sure he scored a header against us 2 seasons ago, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. Listen, I think you're right. And this guy is a nuisance. That's how I would put him down. He's a nuisance. He gets stuck in probably even more than Declan Rice. He is prone to get a yellow. But listen, he will cause Højbjerg and Bentancur problems along with Rice. If I was to not be biased and say who is going to win the midfield battle between Bentancur, Højbjerg, and Rice and Souček, if I'm being honest, I think Souček and Rice will win that midfield battle. However, because they played 120 minutes in midweek, and I believe both of them did play 120 minutes,
Yeah.
that could be vital in flipping that in our favour.
Yeah, I think so. My Anami here is actually saying Suchek's such a big threat for a team like us. He's tall, strong, and most importantly, a big aerial threat. Exactly. That big aerial threat's the issue, especially from corners, free kicks as well. And we've definitely struggled against those kinds of set pieces. I don't know why. For some reason, we have always had this issue for seasons on end now, whether it's Sissoko, who's not covering a man, or Davies losing his guy, or even now Romero getting beat by, I think it was Ben Mee in the Burnley match.
Yeah.
So let's just not get any set piece chances
Corners.
like
We
that
can't
for
be
them.
giving away corners. And that's what David Moyes will be telling them. He's not silly. He'll be trying to get them to win corners. And listen, we do need to be careful with that, because these guys are good. And yeah, I mean, I haven't got the stats for, the most set pieces scored, but I believe they will be up there. They will be up there in that.
Yeah, Ayanami here saying Dyer and Hoiberg will be vital in stopping aerial attacks. I hope so. West Ham's man of the match when we faced them last time in the Carabao Cup, and it's not surprising. Like I said, this guy, I've been keeping an eye on him for a while, so it's nice to see that he's joined the team. He's believed in the project, and that project is coming through now.
100%.
Catman just here. Suchek also scored an own goal for us 2 years ago. True. So he's an aerial threat on in both ends, but definitely keep an eye on this guy. I think that's as much as I can really say in terms of Suchek, so we don't go around in circles. So let's move on to the next guy here. We've got Pablo Fornals. What are your thoughts on him, James?
Listen, just quickly on him, the video of him in midweek, West Ham are massive everywhere they go. That really did annoy me. So if you had to ask me who is my least favourite West Ham player, he would be up there along with Kat Zuma. But listen, it's no denying this guy's a good player as well. Likes a yellow card as well, gets stuck in, but also is a very creative player. He reminds me a little bit like, not completely, but a little bit like a Santi Cazorla kind of player. He does create a lot of goals and does create, makes things happen for West Ham. But I think we can contain him. I think we have the quality to contain him.
Yeah, well, at the moment he has I believe he has scored against Aston Villa. He actually played in the right winger position. It's sort of that issue again where you were talking about the depth and the fact that now that Bowen's sort of out, they're sort of just testing out everybody in that position to sort of fill in the blanks, and sometimes it's working. At the moment, he's played 41 matches, so almost every single player we've named so far, they've played more matches. So 41 matches, 6 goals, 4 assists so far. He's played left mid and center attacking midfielder throughout the season, except in this last game where he played the right winger role, and he actually got a goal off of it.
How many goals has he got this season?
6 goals.
6 goals, 2 assists.
Well, 4 assists if you count.
Okay.
Yeah. So 79% pass completion. His tackle success 48% though. So defensively, obviously not really there, but he's going to spend most of his time at the top of the lineup there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Catman, just keeping positive. Like I said, I want to keep positive. I'm hoping so. But as we know, with the way that Tottenham's been playing recently, you win one, you lose one, and we just won last game. So, but got to keep positive.
No, listen. That streak has got to end at some point. I'm saying it's ending this time, but that's my prediction. But listen, we'll get into our predictions at the end of this podcast, I'm sure. But listen, guys, get in your predictions in terms of, I say predictions, but who do you guys think the main threat is for West Ham? Put it in the comments below. Do you think it's Declan Rice? Do you think it's Thomas Suchek? Or maybe you think it's Yarmolenko or Pablo Fornals? But listen, get them in the comments, Andre. But Pablo Fornals is definitely watch, and I would predict that he is going to be causing us problems if one defender, all it takes is one defender to not be on their game, and this guy can cause us a nuisance. But listen, I'm sure we can contain him, and I'm keeping positive. Like Catman just says, Simply Ace in there says, James and Andre, massive game tomorrow. And that's why you put it in capital letters at Simply Ace, because it is huge, massive game. Honestly, I call it a 6-pointer in the top 4 rate. But it's not over till it's over. Arsenal can have a bad run, and they do have a hard run in. So, honestly, I would go as far to say is if we top 4 is done, we can forget about that. Aim for Europa League, and that will be a poor season under Antonio Conte, who is born to.
Look, I think the issue is if we start sort of thinking about just top 4, where all that pressure we seem to crumble under it every time. So I just think we just got to take it one game at a time. If we don't make top 4, it's not the end of the world. Especially with the team we have, we do not have the depth to be in a Champions League, unless in the summer we do a lot of moves. But
yeah, but we should be aiming for the Champions League, though. We should be aiming for the Champions League.
Oh yeah, I think we should. I'm just saying.
You're being realistic. I get it.
Being realistic here. That's all it is.
No, I do understand that. I do understand that. But if I said to you, would you rather be in the Europa League or Champions League? You wouldn't say Europa League because we're not well equipped for the Champions League. You'd say Champions League because you want to be in the best competition in the world.
Of course.
But I get what you're saying. Europa League isn't a bad backup because we probably are more likely to win that. But we say that every time. Like, we said we should be winning the Europa League conference. I know a difficult circumstances how we got out, but we should have beaten Vitesse away. We should have beaten Pacos de Ferreira, or that was in the qualifying, wasn't it? But we should have beaten NS Mura, who we lost to. Like,
Yeah.
There's no excuse for saying, look, we shouldn't be in the Champions League for me. Like, I would take Europa League, but I want to see us push all the way to the Champions League.
Well, depending on the if we made Champions League, we would get a good ton of money as well. So actually, that would work as long as Levy's willing to do what he needs to do in the summer. Especially if we reach Champions League, there needs to be a lot of movement going on and spending the money wisely.
Listen, Andre, you said it yourself. Like, Champions League is the key to unlock, to get those players, to get the money, to get the attraction to, funnel in these players. Because players don't want to play in the Europa League Conference League. Players don't really want to play in the Europa League. Players want to play in the Champions League. And if we're going to get the squad that is capable of challenging for titles and challenging for trophies, we have to have Champions League in our assets. We have to have it as an attraction.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Ayanami here saying anybody with a hot head might start fights with Romero. And actually, let's just pause for a second and talk about a few of the things that we saw last match. And I'm sure
Romero going walkabouts is one.
Yeah. First of all, Romero pushing up in the striker position when our defense is not good enough for him to be doing that. It was a risk that was worth taking, and it worked out. But it's not always going to work out, and I don't think he should be pushing up that much, at least for this game, especially with the midfield that is going to really be the sort of the heart of West Ham that's going to be pushing up together. I really don't think Dyer and Davies will be able to take that, to be honest.
No, you're right. Yep.
Another issue is I'm sure that David Moyes will tell his players, get Romero mad, get him to fight you, to get some yellow cards in there. Look for his sloppy tackling so that he can get some yellow cards, because Romero has gotten a yellow card in various
eight times.
Yeah, 8 times already. And it's not even a question of like whether he should have gotten it. It's more of like, what are you doing? Like, he swipes them. He actually swipes them down. So he'll 100% be exploiting Romero, our best defender. He'll be exploiting him for his weaknesses, which are pretty big.
Yeah, listen, Ayanami agrees. He says, why fear with Romero being so far up? He's in getting a red card, going for a reckless tackle when a player passes him in the centre. It is a worry.
Yeah, and you know what? The reason he does the crazy tackles that he does is because he's pushed up. So he knows that the minute that ball goes past him, there's going to be huge danger because there's a huge gap in there now. And yeah, you say Højbjerg and Bentancur, they one of them stays back to sort of help out the defense, but he is the best defender. So why is he leaving that position? He should be very, very cautious about that for this game.
Just to put it in perspective, he's played 15 games for us in the league and has 8 yellow cards. That means he has a yellow card pretty much every other game or over that. And it's like, literally, like in his last 3 matches, last 4 matches, Middlesbrough, Everton, Man United, Brighton, he's got 3 yellow cards. And then, he seems to get them in these big games against Middlesbrough in the FA Cup, against Manchester City in the Premier League, against Southampton. And then he was injured for a while. Then he got a red card against Vitesse in a Europa League conference game. 2 stupid yellow cards. Then he got one against Everton away in a 0-0. And then he got one at home against Man United when we lost 3-0. So he is like our Lamella, but a defensive version and a solid player. Don't get me wrong. I do love Romero. I really do hope he stays on. And I think he will. But his discipline for a 23-year-old is shocking.
Yeah, and Catman Just is true here. Romero should stay back in this one, 100%. I really do think that he needs to stay compact with Dyer and with Davies, keeping that line nice and straight, making sure no one gets past them. Because those strikers, they're going to try and do what they can, but it's that midfield that's coming right behind them that's going to be the huge issue. Simply Ace here saying Romero is looking like a good defender, but needs to be less risky, not leave us exposed at the back, as Dyer and Davies cannot hold their own under pressure. And that is the key thing here. Romero could push up if we had better defenders, but we don't. That's just the reality of it for this season. If we bring in a very good left center back over the summer, sure, Romero can start pushing up a little more because it's not as scary seeing like 5 players running towards Dyer and Davies, which, as James always says, do you want to say it or do you want me to say it?
Yeah, I mean, Ben Davies is paper over the cracks, as we all know, guys. I'm sure you guys have all heard me say that enough, but he is. I mean, Romero can't push forward and let paper over the cracks defend and Dyer because it's going to just crumble. It's going to go bad. So, a couple more comments. Sorry, just quickly, I didn't want to miss them. UCL is vital not only to attract players, but to keep players. Is a really good point from May and Army here.
Very
and
true.
Cameron Jess, when asked about the best players for West Ham or the ones we should watch out for, says Fornals for sure, but for a left field choice, I would say Benrahma off the bench could be dangerous, and that's a really, really good shout as well. A tricky player, a little bit like a, obviously not as good, but like a little bit like a Riyad Mahrez, like good agility, good dribbling, and could cause us a problem, especially if we get tired later in the game. Is a really, really good point. Also says Suchek scored an own goal for us 2 years ago, exactly that. But listen, one more comment here from A&R saying seems to get yellow cards early in the games, which limits his defensive skills, slide tackles for the rest of the match, as he can be risk another booking. What do you think of that, Andre?
Yeah, 100%. That is another key too. Once he gets that yellow card, just like any player, they're going to have to start playing safe. They can't be that risk. They can't take those risks anymore. And that's the issue here. It's just about picking the right risks. And I think that Romero at the moment risks more than he's capable of, I guess, creating. You know, he does very risky tackles that most of the time at the moment aren't paying off. He keeps swiping the players down. Richarlison, that swipe, I was like, oh my God, what was that? Like, if I, even as a Tottenham fan, I was like, what are you doing? There was no defending that, ironically.
No, you're right. You're spot on. Should we go into the bonus player that you picked? And then, of course, as always, there's 15 of you in this YouTube chat and a few of you on various platforms, guys. Appreciate the support. In 5 to maybe 10 minutes time, it's over to you guys for your predictions on this huge game. So get thinking for 5 to 10 minutes on your score prediction and your goal scorers. And listen, if one of you gets the goal scorers and the score prediction right and comes back in the next video and tells us, honestly, guys, that deserves a prize. I'll sort out a prize for you. You have my word. So get those cogs churning, get those score predictor analysis minds going. And in a minute, when we say, put your score prediction in the chat along with those goal scorers, and I'm sure it would make your day if you get that right for the prize. Bodril Mazid's in here. Big yourself, Bodril. He says, evening, guys. Big up, James and Andre. No, big up yourself, mate. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday. I hope you are doing very well indeed. Now, Andre, over to that bonus player. Over to you, my man. And, of course, like you said, very topical at the moment. And, full respect for how he's playing, given the circumstances.
100%. Yarmolenko I've picked. He actually scored that extra time goal against Sevilla in the round of 16 in the Europa League. Very emotional scenes, obviously, everything that's going on right now in the world in Ukraine. And I hope that him and his family that his family's safe, and all those people in Ukraine are also safe and keeping safe from all the things that are going on right now. But that goal to get that win has brought this huge energy to West Ham that they will be bringing over to Tottenham. So we have there's something that paper or stats can't really sort of predict when it comes to just the energy and the solidarity that a team has. And that is the big thing that I want to really emphasize. Tottenham might have beat Brighton, and we're over here thinking already. I know in the last video we were talking about there were a lot of things that we didn't like. West Ham here have sort of come together, and they're going to be bringing that over. So we really got to watch out for that. Yarmolenko scoring that last-minute goal there. He's sort of like a backup guy, so he could just start on the bench and come in later and just rally, even if we are winning. And if you remember last season when we were winning 3-0 and exactly what happened in 10 minutes, and I hope most of you aren't still thinking about that game too much, but just have to bring that into perspective.
Are you talking about the Lanzini 3-0?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Simply Ace saying Yarmolenko is the sort of backup striker we need. Now, listen, this guy can play up front, can play on the wing, and he's dangerous. And West Ham do complain that they don't have a backup striker, but this guy is almost the backup striker that we don't have. It's a very good point, Simply Ace. And Mark Swift's in here. Big yourself, Mark. Haven't seen you for a little while, probably because I haven't been on streams as much, to be honest with you. I'm sure you've been joining Andre, but listen, he said, hit that like button and subscribe and share. Thank you. Mark Swift, you're the kind of guy we appreciate and why we do this for. Big yourself up. Thank you so much for letting everyone know to hit the like button and subscribe. I'm sure everyone's done it already, but thank you, Mark, for joining us as always, mate. And I hope you're doing very well on this Saturday evening. Andre, back over to you.
So to leave some stats here, he's played 24 matches, 3 goals, 3 assists. He's actually played in the right wing role, the left wing role, the center forward role. So he really can play wherever. He is that surprise guy where roll of the dice, he'll just get played wherever he's needed. So definitely someone to look out for. In his last 5 games, like I said, he scored that Sevilla goal. He's got 80% pass completion, and his tackle success is 43. But he'll be at the front, so it's not about tackling. It really just will be the fact that he can pass it off very well, and he's got some shooting boots in there.
Exactly, and he's got a very good shot on him, and he's a bit of a poacher as well. Like that goal was from a rebound on Thursday. He did very well to get to it. And listen, he's a decent player, and it's one. I don't think he'll start the game. I don't think he will. I believe he came off the bench in midweek. But listen, he is an asset, and he is the striker that they can use if they decide to go with Antonio, which I'm sure they probably will. He's the striker that can really cause us problems.
Yep. And like I said, that's why I put him in as that bonus player. We should be watching out for him. He is the surprise wild card who will play anywhere in that front where it's needed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Antonio played 121 minutes in midweek, and he is a guy that gets injured quite easily. He is a guy that doesn't always have the fitness necessarily, and does chase down the ball. So he should. I don't want to say it, but he should be not as fresh as he normally would. I think that's fair to say. But let's see. I think Yarmolenko he only played 30 minutes because he came on just before extra time. So listen, I think we got to be careful with both of them.
Yeah. Simply Ace, you're actually saying, do you think that Kulu and Yarmolenko are similar in playing style?
Both tall. I think Yarmolenko is left-footed. I could be wrong on that. And both tall, both got similar kind of. They're not the quickest player, but they're good at dribbling and good at finishing. I think it's a very good point, Simply Ace. I think they are. But listen, I think Kulu's the better player, I gotta say.
Yeah, he's Kulu's come in. He's made a statement.
Kulu's younger as well. I mean, Yarmolenko's 32 and Kulu's about 22, I think. So there you go.
Yeah, so I would think they are similar, but I do think Kulu has provided a bigger statement for Tottenham, and whether that's to the fact that Tottenham have just been a little bit in the mud for in a few positions, or whether or not it's just the fact that Kulu's just a slightly better player with a much more promising career, could be.
Kulu's 21, by the way. 21. I got it wrong. Well, I said 22. I wasn't far off. But listen, they're good players, and I think, Andre, unless you've got anything else to say about Yarmolenko, I think we should get into the head-to-head records of the teams and maybe the key stats for the head-to-heads, and then maybe we'll get into these score predictions. I'm very excited to hear what the chat is saying.
Yeah, sounds good. So those were our 4 players that we've decided that we need to look at. For the forum, let's talk about West Ham first. In their last 5, they have actually won 2 games and they've lost 3. So it hasn't been very well for them either. But their most recent form, of course, is 2 wins with that crazy Europa League turnaround. To sort of get that win there in the last moments, bringing all that energy, as I said, won't repeat it too much. In the last 5 matches, they've conceded only 5 goals. So just about a goal per game if you really wanted to break it down like that. But they did keep a clean sheet against Sevilla. They're currently 6th with 29 games with 48 points. Now, compare that to Spurs. Win, loss, win, loss, win. Loss, win, loss. I could keep going. That's literally how it is for the next 10 matches.
Right, okay. Since this calendar year, by the way, I had to say this. We beat Watford, win. We lost to Chelsea, loss. We beat Morecambe, win. We lost to Chelsea, loss. We beat Leicester, win. We lost to Chelsea, loss. We beat Brighton, win. We lost to Southampton, loss. We lost to Wolves, loss. That's the only discrepancy. Then we beat Man City, win. We lost to Burnley, loss. We beat Leeds, win. We lost to Middlesbrough, loss. We beat Everton, win. We lost to Man U, loss. We beat Brighton, win. It's unbelievable. It is literally win, loss, other than one exception where we lost 2 in a row that week, where we lost to Southampton and Wolves. Other than that, it is literally win, loss, FC.
Yeah, and the crazy thing too is to keep that pattern, it doesn't matter who we're facing, we still lose if we're supposed to lose.
Middlesbrough,
We beat Man
Burnley.
City, and then we went and lost to Burnley. We dominated a certain team, and then we go and lose to Middlesbrough. So you can't really write this stuff. It makes me question things.
Yeah,
but what I will say, the good thing we can keep out of this last 5 though is that 2 of those wins were total dominations: the Everton game and the Leeds game. If we can sort of take that into account and bring that to West Ham, I think we could probably do something. But we need to go in running and get in there and get those goals early on, because once again, that midfield is going to be very dangerous. And the minute that Spurs start sort of letting them come towards us, get closer into the box, it's going to be a very difficult game. And if anything, I just feel bad for Lloris. He's going to be diving a lot for those to save. I feel there's going to be a lot of shots.
Yeah, for sure. You're spot on, Andre. Cameron just saying Yarmolenko has 8 goals, all with his left foot. So there you go. I was right about the left foot, and Yarmolenko is a little bit like Kulo in that sense. And Simply Ace is saying it is so Spursy for us to win, lose, lol. Bodril Mazid saying if we dabble on the ball, take too many touches and pass sideways, West Ham will press us. Players will press us, and we panic when we are pressed. Play quick forward passes, and we will be able to score and win. That's a really good analysis, Bodril. I do agree, and I do think West Ham's pressing game won't be as much as it normally is tomorrow. I do think that. Obviously, London derby, adrenaline, I think it will be for the first half and so. But I do think those latter stages is where we need to take advantage if need be, because I do think they will flag. It's a human body at the end of the day. You can be as fit as you like, but 3 days later, it's less than 3 days because they played at night. So we're playing at 4 o'clock, 4:30. So listen, it's going to play a part. It is going to play a part. You can, when you're watching the game tomorrow and you see in the 70th minute that Declan Rice and Suchek aren't pressing as much as they normally would, or, Aaron Cresswell or the other fullback, can't remember, what's his name, the right back. I've forgotten his name. But listen, they won't be pressing as much as they normally would. So that is going to play a key factor. It's Ledley King's nephew. What's his name? He's a decent little player. It's bugging me now. But they're all going to be up for it to start with, as all the players are. But then it's going to show. It is going to show. Mark my words, Andre.
Are you talking about Ben Johnson?
Ben Johnson, yeah, he's Ledley King's nephew. He's a good little player. But listen, they're all going to be knackered. And listen, if you're at the game tomorrow, by the way, please, when Kurt Zouma gets the ball, just do everything you can to put him off. That guy is a disgrace. If you have to meow or whatever it is, that guy has to know that he's a piece of absolute disgrace. Sorry, I've gone off on one, but there you go.
No worries there. Do you want to fill in quickly for those that might not know what's been going on with Kurt Zouma at the moment?
Well, listen, it's as simple as this. There was a video that went around about a month ago of Kurt Zouma booting his own cat, kicking his own cat around his kitchen, thinking it's funny with his mate or his brother or whoever it was. Went viral. He then got investigated by police. Don't think it went any further. Then he's getting investigated by the RSPCA, who are then going to put in something about the Animal Welfare Act and try and basically sue him. He's already been charged, but it's not enough. He's still playing football. If he kicked in a person, he's being jailed. So why is he allowed to kick in a cat? I don't want to go off on one in this podcast about it, but he is a disgrace. And he does deserve all the abuse he gets from Spurs fans tomorrow, because he will get booed on the ball. Mark my words.
And just to also bring in that detail, his cat was taken away from him. So that
he should be taken. He's just a disgrace, honestly. Bentancur will be the key difference. Simply Ace. No, he was very good on Wednesday night when I went.
I think he's a really big key difference when the only other player that'd be coming in for him would be Winks. No offense.
Correct. He's saying I'll forgive Romero for getting a booking if he 2-foot Zuma. Yeah, listen, if he 2-foot Zuma, he's probably going to get more than a yellow. It's probably going to look more like the color of red, mate. But Andre, should we get into the score predictions and time for the Spurs relatables to get their score predictions in? Like I said, if someone gets the score, correct score and goal scorers, you will win a prize. You have my word. But Andre, I'm going to say, as always.
Well, actually, right before we get into that, let me just quickly got a few more stats here to talk about for Spurs. Just quickly, they're in 7th,
Okay.
28 games, 48 points. So actually, we're tied on points. This is why, as much as I was downplaying it, James is right, and so are most of you here who have said the same thing that I saw. It's a very massive game. Obviously, I'm downplaying it a little bit because I think we should take every game as a massive game for points. This game, if there was any game that tells you how important it is, it's the one where we're going up against a team who has one game more than us and we're tied on points. If we win this game, we go above Man United and West Ham. We go in 5th with 1 point above Man United.
3 points behind Arsenal as well with a game more played.
And again, this game would put us equal with Man United's amount of games. So we lose this one, and
but if we win, we're 1 point above Man United.
Yeah, but that's kind of the place we're at right now. We're so inconsistent that just every game at the moment it changes the entire complexity of everything.
Correct. No, you're correct.
And then lastly, just some quick head-to-head stats here. In the last 5, we had Tottenham win twice, 1 draw, and West Ham has won twice against us. We have conceded, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 goals, and West Ham have conceded 4. So that's a lot to say as well. And an injury update: Bowen and Cresswell will not be playing.
Good information. Cresswell not playing as well. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Where was he? Who was playing left back for them on Thursday then? It was Cresswell. Did you say Cresswell's not available?
Well, that's what I saw in the injury update, but it could be.
I mean, you're probably right, but he did play 120 minutes on Thursday, so that's interesting. So who will play for them? Maybe Masuaku, who is awful. That could be interesting. That could be very interesting. At the same
time, there has been a lot of changes. David Boyce has kept going on saying that we'll check, because I know that Antonio was almost slated to not play the Sevilla game, and then at the last minute he did. So
exactly. He's saying, "Oh, Kazuma, I want to know why you kicked that cat." 1, 2, 3. Simply
you guys come up with the craziest chants. I don't understand. That's awesome.
Simply A saying, Simply Ace, I didn't see that score prediction. But listen, last 5 games, Tottenham 2020, so the 5th last game, 2020, Tottenham 2, West Ham 0. That was with a Thomas Tuchel goal and a Harry Kane goal. Then it was 3-3, as we know. Don't need to get too much into that one, but that was when Spurs went 3-0 up in 16 minutes and did concede 3 goals in the last 10 minutes with Balbuena, Davinson Sanchez own goal, and Lanzini scored an absolute screamer. That still lives rent-free in my head, that game. Then we had the 2-1 West Ham with Antonio and Lingard doing that stupid celebration and Lucas Moura getting a consolation goal 2-1. And I remember we played that game. Let me check the stats. Yep, we had 4 shots on goal and they were all in the second half. It was just horrendous.
Yeah, that was a Lingard show, that game.
West Ham 1, Tottenham 0. No, this was the game where we had no. Yeah, that was it. West Ham 1, Tottenham 0. That was Antonio 1-0, and we had no shots in the second half. No shots. 62% possession, no shots. I've never been so annoyed. That was the 24th of October 2021. And then the last head-to-head was Tottenham 2, West Ham 1, and it's not letting me pull up the scorers on that one, but that was the last game.
Sounds like we're in for quite a treat. But let's get into our score predictions. Did you want me to go first, or do you have yours in mind already?
I'll let you go first. I think.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 3-2 for Spurs.
3-2.
Yes, what? I think that we're
3-2.
I think so.
Oh, okay, mate. This is getting silly now. All right, I got you.
No, I really do think that it's going to be quite high scoring. I think that for some reason, we just have it in us to score a lot of goals sometimes. I'm just feeling it this one, but I do think that West Ham they will really try, as they always do against us, and they seem to treat this against the Tottenham games for some reason. It's just absolutely crazy. They are very resilient. And I think for me, it's very important that the wingbacks are on their A game, because as I have said previously, Conte's team, the wingbacks are probably the players that do the most work. They are one of the most important players on that team. If the wingbacks are not doing their job, it's like a human body without arms. It really is.
Human body without arms. These analogies that are coming out from you today, Mr. Dre. Ayanami saying, Simply Ace saying 2-1 Tottenham, Kane, Son, and Yarmolenko. 2-1 also for Ayanami. I think both teams both suffer from the same problems. So I can see a very close game, and this game is very important to both teams. Ayanami, you got to get your scorers in there if you want to win a prize. Peter Patchis is saying West Ham treats the game against Spurs like their cup final, so 3-0 Spurs. I thought you were going to suddenly say like West Ham win, but you gone back on it. I like that, Peter. Cameron just saying, I believe Ben Johnson can play left back as well, right? So maybe he'll be moved to left back and they'll have their backup right back. Dara's in there, big yourself up there, saying for me, last chance saloon. If we don't win the scum, at 6 points ahead and a game in hand, exactly that. Cameron just going for a 3-1. Tottenham goals by Kane, Kulusevski, and Son, by the way, I still stick by it. He is so far off it at the moment. It hurts me. And if he got dropped, I wouldn't even complain, because I think he needs to be. I think
do you think Conte will do that plan that we were talking about, where he gets benched for a little bit and then he comes on after?
He won't. He doesn't have the balls. He will not. I don't think he'll bench Son. I don't think he has the minerals, especially if it goes wrong. I just don't think he'll do it. My predicted lineup would be Lloris, Doherty,
Romero,
Dyer, Davies, Reguilon, Bentancur, Højbjerg, Kulusevski, Kane, and Son. So I think
that's been the same lineup. Right. Like there's really no surprise. We have no depth other than maybe Sessegnon, or that's really about it, really. Or more Bergwijn coming off the bench. That's about it.
Yeah, exactly. Dara's saying it's in the midfield. The game is going to be won and lost for me. Exactly. This is what we were saying right at the start. Dara, you're spot on. Guys, keep your score predictions coming in. A couple more minutes. Andre's going 3-2. Andre, did you give me your score predictions? Your scorers?
I will say Kane, Kulu, and I'm gonna go with. See, I'm debating between Reguilon or Doherty.
Oh, I was thinking Reguilon.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Reguilon. I'm gonna go Kane. Did I say Son or did I say Kulu? I said Kulu. So Kulusevski and Reguilon. And then on the West Ham side, I'm gonna say Antonio and Declan Rice.
Well, okay. Sounds good. A couple more score predictions coming in. Bodrul Mazid saying Kane ×2 and Decky ×1 to score on a set piece goal for the Hammers in a 3-1 win. I like that. Ayanami saying Souček, Højbjerg, and Kulu for his 2-1 win. And Dara's going 3-1 Spurs, Dyer, Kane, and Kulu. A lot of Kane and Kulu. Dyer in there as well. I like that, Dyer. I like that. He likes a London derby goal. He likes to go against Arsenal.
I would love to see Dyer score. I think he deserves to finally get one in there. He's put in such good performances. The team at the back really changed with him coming back.
Dyer free kick. We need a free kick. We haven't scored a free kick since we had Ericsson. I think that
he deserved his free kick after that.
Can you believe that? We haven't scored a free kick since we had Ericsson.
Yeah, well, I really do think Dyer deserved his free kick ever since that Crystal Palace game where it almost went in.
Who's that?
When Dyer did that free kick and somehow the Crystal Palace goalkeeper became Mr. Fantastic for a second, and I don't know how he stretched and got that. But
cat-like reflexes. Hopefully that doesn't hit home for Kurt Zouma. But listen, my score prediction, I am going for...
Oh, he's thinking about it.
I don't want to change it. Now I'm going with my instinct. Tottenham 3, West Ham 1. It's going to be a cracker on Sunday for you guys. I'm feeling it. 3-1. I'm not even going to tell you the order. I'm just going to tell you the scorers, just so I look like even more of a dynamo magician.
Okay.
Harry Kane's going to bag a brace, including a penalty. Have that. And Kulusevski's getting the other one. They're the 3 goals for Spurs and 1 for West Ham.
Yeah, I guess,
I wouldn't be surprised if Souček pops up. Souček.
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't think anyone here is. I think maybe one person said Souček, or I don't think anyone has.
No one said Souček. No one said
I
Souček. We've had Yarmolenko. We've had Rice. We've had no. Ayanami said Souček.
There we go. Ayanami.
He said Højbjerg as well.
Oh man, but you gotta admit though, when Højbjerg scores, they are some bangers every time he scores.
Big up Leo Ball. The boys boring 2-1. If you want to get in a goal scoring predictions for that prize, Leo, let us know. Tony Cornelia's in here. Big up, Tony. Thanks for joining us. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out. And I hope you're doing well and enjoy the game tomorrow. So we've got 3-1 for James's predictions written there. We got Andre's predictions written there. 3-2. We're going for goals on Super Sunday. And that is all we have time for, Andre.
Yep. Well, I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. Let's hope for that we break that pattern, please.
Yeah, and talking of breaking patterns, I've been to the last 3 games home and away. I've been to the Everton game 5-0 at home. I went to Old Trafford away, and I went to Brighton away. Tomorrow, I'm not going to the game. I will be watching from the comfort of my own home. So that means I'll be on the review, like normal, like clockwork. Andre and I will be live straight after the game tomorrow. It is a 4:30 kickoff, I believe. 4:30, is that right, Andre?
I believe so.
Let me just confirm that for you on my Telefonica. 4:30 kickoff tomorrow, 4:30 UK. So myself and Andre will be live from around 15, around quarter to. Wait,
well, expect no later than 30 minutes after the match is done.
Yeah, so the game will end at about 6:20, 6:30. So we'll be live around 6:30, between 6:30 and 7 to give.
Oh, Catman Jess over here saying Son had scored a free kick from that Watford game at the beginning of the season. It was pretty fluky. I remember that. Remember when it went past all the players?
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? That is a good catch, but I think James just means like a straight up free kick. You meant to score it like right in there.
Kane put one over the bar at the Amex, didn't he, on Wednesday?
Yeah, but very good cat. Very good cat. Very good catch.
Very good cat. Come on, Jess. Keep your cat safe tomorrow. Don't take it to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But Cameron just saying, COYS, great show, guys. Thank you. No, thank you for joining us because you've been here the whole hour. Big yourself up, Catman Jess. We always appreciate you coming in. It's always great talking to you. Simply A saying, great show, lads. Really enjoyed it. Same for you, Simply Ace. Thank you for joining us. As always, same for A and Army, same for Tony, same for Bodril, same for Leo, same for Dara, same for Peter and the rest of the people in the chat. I'm sure I have missed a couple. Mark, all of you guys have been great. Gagetta as well at the start. You guys have been fantastic. We've been Spurs related. You've been the Spurs relatables. Let's pray for 3 points tomorrow. Please enjoy the game, and we will see you after the game tomorrow for the match review. Thanks, Andre. Thanks for the stats. And guys, as always, remember, come on, you Spurs.
Come on!